right. Now we'll get back to mental health. So here we had a recommendation coming from this committee that, and the committee was taken seriously because of what they had done in the mental retardation field. They knew that something could happen here. And we were going to terminate the old commitment system. And we were going to change it so that, yeah, you could take somebody in for 72 hours against their wishes. But that's it. And you got 72 hours to demonstrate this person is really a danger. And if you can't demonstrate that, they're free to go.
What's with 72 hours? I mean, I've known about this for forever, but
yeah.
How did you come up with that number? 3 days, I suppose.
Yeah, 3 days. And how we did that was we put the question to psychiatrists, prominent psychiatrists. You know, how long would it take you if somebody is mentally ill and dangerous? How long would it take you to determine that? And they seem to agree, most of them, that, well, if we had 3 days, we could do that. Wow. Now, the reality is nobody can predict who's really dangerous. You know, that's the reality. But anyway, so we had this bill. We're going to change the commitment system because, and everybody said, that's great. And in fact, all the mental health advocates labeled this bill as the Magna Carta for the mentally ill. Well, there was a second part to our proposal. We said not just terminate the commitment system, but put something in its place in the community that will respond to these people's needs. Because just by stopping commitment doesn't mean you're solving the problem. The problem's still there. And, well, that was going to require money. And what we had recommended was not appreciated by the counties. They didn't like changing the commitment system. They didn't like the idea we were going to contract with private entities in their own territory to do this work if in the state's judgment there was somebody better to do it. So it put them on a competitive basis. They didn't like that. And the bill passed through the assembly. We had the power in the assembly. Got over into the Senate, and it's dying on the vine. It's bottled up in a committee. You know. At the same time, Senator Short has a bill that the counties want. And his bill changes the funding formula for funding short dwell programs. Those were the county mental health programs. And the funding had been 50-50, and then 75-25, 75 state, 25 county. And Short's bill changed it to 90-10. State would pick up 90% of the cost for the community mental health program. And the counties needed that bill. And it just so happened that year there was a new chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, which handles all budget stuff. And that chairman was none other than Frank Lanterman, Uncle Frank. So Short's bill comes down from the Senate, and Lanterman sits on it, doesn't move it. Lanterman and Petris' bill on mental health moves from the Assembly to the Senate, and the Senate sits on it. It's a deadlock. So Lanterman says to me, Arthur, he says, I'm sending you on a mission. Go see Senator Short and see what can be worked out here so that he gets what he wants and we get what we need. Okay. So I walk into Senator Short's office. He was a drinker. First thing he did was offer me, how about a drink? So I said, sure, I'll have scotch with you. And I explain our problem. Our bill is bottled up there, and we know your bill is important too. And why don't we get together on this, and we'll take your bill, Senator, and amend into it all the provisions of our bill and move it as a single bill. So Short's bill becomes, instead of just the Lanterman-Petris Act, it becomes the Lanterman-Petris-Short Act. And it's going to go, now when you change a bill like that, you've changed what the House originally passed. So you have to go to a conference committee to settle the differences between the two sides. Well, the senators decide, the leadership in the Senate decides that no matter what comes up, they will not tolerate this change in the commitment system. And it's just something they can't do. Put it over till next year, we'll discuss it, which means forget about it. And so here we are, and it comes down to the last night of the session. At midnight, the legislature will adjourn for the year, and anything unresolved is dead at that point. Last night of the session, there's a conference committee. Lanterman asked me to sit in with them in the conference committee, so I'm there. And the Senate has appointed Senator Teal, who's a tough guy, and he has a state hospital in his district. And they've got, another one. And the third, there's supposed to be 3 people. The third member they appoint is a known Nazi, a real fascist, a guy named Schmitz, who is a member of the John Birch Society in Orange County. Extremely conservative guy. So he's the third member of this. So, oh, God, doesn't sound good. So we get in there and we're discussing this thing. And the senators are, throwing up, their objections. And this guy Schmidt says, he says, I've been looking at this and I've been thinking about it. And I think the commitment system is terrible. It's un-American. It sounds like the Russian thing. The Russians do this. They find someone, a political prisoner, somebody they don't agree with, and they stick him in a gulag somewhere out in Siberia. They label him mentally ill, and he's gone. And this looks like the same kind of thing to me. He says, I like it, but I don't like the rest of this bill, all this garbage with these regional programs and alternative, that whole thing is going to cost a lot of money, and I don't trust it anyway. So I would go for this bill if you eliminate the service provisions, what you're going to do for these people if you don't commit them. Knock that out, knock the money out. This bill can't have any money in it. I won't support it if it's got money in it. But I would support it if you trim it down, take the money out. Well, that breaks the deadlock. And we walk out of that room, and Lanterman says to me, Arthur, do you think you can revise this bill in time? You know, we're adjourning in a couple hours here, a few hours. We're adjourning. Can you revise the bill? I said, oh, yeah. I said, we'll rewrite the whole damn thing, Frank. We'll do it, you know. So I have my trusted staff, Karsten Wieg, the lawyer, you know, and we figure we can cut and slice and fix this bill. But then it comes to our attention that all bills that are sent before the legislative bodies, especially when they're under time pressure, like last night of the session, all such bills have to have an analysis by the Legislative Analyst's Office. That's the nonpartisan group that looks at budget stuff. And every bill, because the legislator is not going to sit on the floor and read through 50 pages of legal gobbledygook. He wants a one-page thing that tells him is it going to cost money or not, so, from an authoritative source. And it's always on a green piece of paper, and it sits on top of every bill. So I turned to my trusted secretary, Connie Gebhardt, and I said, Connie, find some green paper. And I write an analysis of the bill, but I don't call it legislative analyst. I say bill analysis. So, and I say, you know, the bill doesn't cost any money. Some simple two-sentence thing. And we produce that on green paper, and it goes on top of everybody's bill. And we pass the Lanterman-Petris-Short Act. That's how that happened. And I don't know if that was a crime or not, but there's a statute of limitations, I'm sure. Yeah.
It has lapsed.
That was quite something.